Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for attending this session with Gohagan and Company, one of our travel partners we've been working with for a number of years. I think most of you have joined us for a session already, so I'm going to skip all the introductory information I've given before. But if you do have questions, you can put them in the chat. So on to our featured presenter. Today we have Tom Bingle. He's the Executive Vice President for Thomas P. Gohagan and Company, which is located in Chicago. And Tom, I'm sad to say, Friday will be his last day with the Gohagan. I've worked with Tom for many years, and I will truly, truly miss him. Gohagan and Company services only the alumni travel market, and for over 37 years has provided deluxe travel programs around the globe. And welcome, Tom. Take it away.
Thank you, Regina. Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to your travelers and everything about it. It's great that you're out and willing to explore. We are finding that the COVID protocols are diminishing very much, and so that the world is starting to reopen. It's very exciting, and so it's a dynamic period, and I'm here to present our 2023 programs and our 2024 programs. Just a little bit about Gohagan and Company. As Regina says, it's unique in the sense that we only focus on the affinity market. All right, and our affinities are the universities of the United States and Canada is the primary market that we have. We do have some, the Smithsonian, we do some work with in the National Trust, but it's primarily the universities around both countries. And we really stress kind of an educational component very much to our programs, because normally, and we've had Michigan State in the past where they would put on a professor that would accompany the travelers on a program, and other professors from other universities. And so it's kind of a mini seminar at sea, but yet you don't have to take notes, in that regard. We also add some guest speakers at, certain itineraries that also enhance the programming. We have a tremendous long-standing relationships with our local operators. And sometimes, let's say, as in one of the programs and that I'm going to be talking about, our land program, Dordogne, we do have some local speakers there to enliven it. The other item that I would say predominantly dominates Gohagan's programming is charters of small ships. You'll see here I'm presenting four programs. One is a land only, which is very exciting, but the other three involve charters. And that means that we buy the ship from the ship company for a certain number of nights, traditionally 7 nights. And then what we do, we create our own itinerary. It's a lot of times it is different than what the ship offers because we have various places that we want to go to. And again, it's chartered. There's no what we call FITs on board. It is purely university alumni that you'll be traveling with. And maybe the National Trust, on the journey as you're going in these different places. We have a great team of travel directors. And I think if anybody that has ventured with group travel with other companies, that Michigan State uses or with Gohagan, you'll understand the real value of these travel directors is just outstanding. From the moment, the famous the hardest day of the trip is the day of departure, the day of arrival. But the moment you come out of customs, we used to be able to get into customs before security and the world changed. But once you come out of that customs, there's somebody holding the sign there, and they're looking for your luggage tag and name badge and various things. And then, for the next 7 nights, 10 nights, whatever, you will be taken care of by this team of travel directors that we have. So it's different. It is, an introduction for some of you that always have planned your own trips. But I think you will find this very, very delightful travel. As I said, mixing in with other university, their alumni, getting to hear some wonderful speakers, and very much hand-selected hotels, and of course, these ships that we use. All right, so Regina, let us start here with the very first slide after this one. Okay, this is exciting. All right, this is now in April, so it's close upon us, and this is a very normal program with our cruise line. All right, but you see that it's not just the Canary Islands, or it's not just Morocco. We combine the two. The Canary Islands off that coast of Morocco, Spanish, part of Spain today, and yet again, so we have, it's a 7-night. This is our pattern, usually 7-night charter. And again, we create our own itinerary here. This will be stay on this slide, but beautiful as far as it. But what I love about this program is that we get a very good introduction to the Canary Islands. We do 3 islands. We begin in Las Palmas, but then we go on to Santa Cruz de la Palma, and as well as Tenerife. So you have 3, of the Canary Islands. Then we did this program in the past, and we just went to Marrakesh and Casablanca. But what I love about this program is that we go beyond now. We've been able to extend our time in Morocco. And so it's not Morocco light. It does everything of the key elements in Morocco, because in addition to the wonderful Marrakesh, this kind of bizarre, how would I call it, town out on the footsteps of the desert of the Sahara, in that area up in the mountains. It's very exotic. Some of the best hotels in the world are in Marrakesh. But then in addition to that, we have a full day in Casablanca. We then push on to the real magic area called Fez, which is the old Kasbah, the old Medina, that really highlights kind of the heart and soul of Morocco, in addition to Rabat as well as Volubia. So we really do a wonderful, it's an introduction, but it really touches upon the major parts of Morocco. Now you're on the ship for the whole time. All meals, all excursions, all beverages are included with this, which is a very nice, it helps for engagement, and all Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi is included on this. The price here is $4,995. That's the entry level price, and then it goes up as you get into the suites and other elements. So it's a 9-day, 7-night program, and this is a 5-star small ship. This Le de Monteville. This is a French line. It's Ponant, P-O-N-A-N-T, and they specialize in smaller type vessels. And again, you'll be on this particular program with about 140 total people, only 140 on this deluxe little ship. Regina, let's go to that second slide, the next one here. And there you see the which always helps. I love maps, but that gives you the idea that, okay, we do the 3 days in Canary. We do a pre-tour in Las Palmas if you're interested in spending more time in the Canary Islands for a couple nights, and then come across. And as I said, we get to Marrakesh, then also Casablanca, full day in Casablanca, up to Rabat and Fez, and this wonderful Roman site, Volubius, which is just outside of Fez. So it's a delightful, program, kind of bridging it's almost like two trips in one, because the Canary Islands are very different than what you find in Morocco. Morocco, and I know that you may know, is one of the hottest destinations in Europe and in this North African area. It's been, it has been the benefit, might say, of a benevolent dictator. I think they're now in either their 3rd or 4th generation of a very generous royal family there in Morocco. Morocco is a country that works in Africa. Okay, and then the final one, Regina, just kind of, oh no, excuse me. This is now not the, we have one more. This is beautiful. So here's our ship. Okay, again, about 140 people. What I love about the Du Monteville, everybody has a balcony. Everybody has a balcony on this little ship here. It is French. It is not North American in any stretch of the imagination. Now, that also means there's no midnight buffet. There's no casino, on this. This is a kind of a very elegant, refined. They do have a little swimming pool in the back, 2 beautiful restaurants, which they serve predominantly French and a little bit of the local cuisine with you on that. But it's, again, only 140 people that will be on this little adventure. And it's very different than what, obviously, anything that's, 1,000 people or even 800 people. It's a very different atmosphere on that. Okay. Regina, and one more, I think of this, the next one. And that's just a little bit. There's the wonderful Medina in Marrakesh there, just fabulous. Again, very exotic, a real melange of different cultures. The French were in Morocco, the Spanish were in Morocco. The African influence is very strong, the Islamic influence. So it's really quite a mixture of it. And then obviously then we have one of the mosques that dominates also in Rabat in that region. So it's kind of again, this juxtaposition between the island life that you're going to encounter in the Canaries and then this wonderful civilization in Morocco. All right, so that's okay. Our lead in, that's in April. All right, here's a classic that we've been doing, oh dear, I'd say for at least 30 years. What happened in this world of European rivers, you got to come up with something a little bit different. This is a cruise all the way on the Rhine, but everybody does the Rhine. So, but what we did, we kind of followed back in the, what do you want to call it, the 18th and early 19th century. There were a lot of these university students from England that were heading on to the continent, and it was called the Great Journey or the Grand Tour. They would end up down in Greece, go to Italy, but they went down the Rhine, was kind of their major conduit to go into Switzerland. And they helped introduce tourism to Switzerland, actually, and mountaineering. Not that they were doing it before, but kind of the commercial side of mountaineering. So here, right in July, we have this wonderful program. And what we do, we begin in, it's 4 nights in Switzerland and then 6 nights on the ship. But we're, Switzerland just melts your heart, because what we do, we have 2 nights in Zermatt, that's right under the shadow of the Matterhorn. We then work up a beautiful train called the Gornergracht, which goes right to the base of the Matterhorn. And you can walk all the way back down into town, walk around the Matterhorn. It's a spectacular way to begin the tour. Then the next, after 2 nights there, we take the famous Glacier Express, the train that was built specifically for high alpine travel. And that then goes from we go from Zermatt, then over to a town called Andermatt, and then continue on to Lucerne. And Lucerne is the town with the wooden bridge over the heart of the river that forms Lucerne. There's a lake. We go up to Mount Pilatus, again using a cog railway. So we work in 3 different trains during that time. So 4 nights in Lucerne, 2 in Zermatt, 2 in Lucerne. Then we come down and there we board the Amadeus Imperial in a town called Basel, Switzerland. And there we have 6 nights. We have 6 nights. So it's a 10-night program. And our lead-in price is $41.95. That's tremendous value for that. And then on this, we go all the way down the Rhine. And we have beautiful. We stop in from Basel. And first stop is in Strasbourg in France. That's where wonderful medieval village. Then we push on, going further. The next stop, then we come into Mannheim for Mannheim, where we go to Heidelberg, where we see the university and a beautiful pedestrian town, and then also the castle. Then from there, we get right into the heart of what they call the Rheingau region. We have a stop in Rudesheim for wine tasting of the area is mainly known for its white wine. From there, then we continue to Koblenz. And this is right there, the heart of the Rhine, where we see these type of castles that, just kind of are dotting either side of the Rhine as we get into that heart of the Rhine. What I love about our program, we added 1 more night and we go up the Moselle, and that's at Koblenz. We kind of take a left-hand turn, go up the Moselle, a smaller, windy, twisty river that goes up to a beautiful little town, a wine town called Kokum. So we get a good look at that. Come back down. We then push on the last day. Then we get into the wonderful town of Cologne, where we're right under the shadow of the dome, the beautiful cathedral, wonderful art museums, and just a lot of life in Cologne. And then we continue on to Amsterdam, and that's where we disembark and do a post-tour tour in Amsterdam. Again, that's $41.95, and maybe we'll go to the next slide, Regina. See what we got there. Just highlighting the whole journey here, where we commence in Zermatt, then go to Lucerne, come down, we go through Bern and get on to Basel, and then the wonderful run up into all the way down, and it's just spectacular journey. So, and it's said reasonably priced. We do the Moselle, and again, we'll be chartered. On the Amadeus, it's only about 120 people. It's smaller than the other one, and so we're looking to take just about 120. There'll be some professors on board, definitely on the program that will help bring to life that region. Okay, Regina, so I think
Goes from.
yes, it shows
yes.
it the other way.
Yes, so
Yeah,
I just
I'm
wanted
sorry,
to
so, yeah.
make it clear that our departure is actually Geneva or Zermatt
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
to,
our
Hampton.
direction is the opposite of what is on the map there. Sorry, I
Okay.
apologize for that. But so you would fly into Geneva and then, transfer to Zermatt for the 2 nights, and then the Glacier Express, and then Lucerne for 2, and then via Bern, we go to Basel and then board the ship for 6 nights on that. So sorry about that, a little confused. There you see the Amadeus Imperial, very spacious accommodations, with the ship. Well run. Amadeus is a Austrian firm that has been known for the Danube and the Rhine on there. We've used them extensively for many, many years, and a very, very, as I said, very comfortable European river vessel. You can see the top one is, of course, the famous Glacier Express. As you go through the high Alpine, when we leave Zermatt, goes right out of Zermatt to Andermatt for a day. Here's the Cologne. The second one is the Cologne Cathedral, the famous Gothic masterpiece. And you dock. What's great about it, you dock right underneath and in all these towns, Rudesheim, Kochum, you're right in Strasbourg. You're right in the heart of the town where you dock. So it's and excuse me, that's also the Cologne down there, in the bottom here. But just again, Switzerland and Germany and France and the Netherlands, and it's just a superb program through that heart of Europe, you would say. Okay. All right, so that's 2023, and again, that's a good price at $41.95 from $41.95. All right, now to 2024 spring, and this is exciting. This is one of the land programs that we do. And we love the title Village Life because we only go to villages. We don't choose major cities at all where we focus. This is 7 nights, one hub and spoke. You go and you unpack once. Think of it like a cruise, but you're only unpacking once. And this one was the very first one that we started because we found this medieval village. This is the village of Sarlat, Sarlat, in the heart of the Dordogne region. This is just east of Bordeaux. It's about 3 hours east of Bordeaux. So you would fly in to Bordeaux. We do a pre-tour in that wonderful city, which is highly recommended. But then the main program, you come into Bordeaux and then you transfer to this village. Why is Sarlat? Here we go. Going back into 1965. There was a famous French cultural minister by the name of André Malraux. And what he came up with, he said, we have some villages that have survived World War I and World War II pretty much intact, and not much we got to do with it. And this was the very first village that they decided, we're just going to make it totally pedestrianized. We're going to put in gas lighting, no cars, and it's magic. It really, there isn't one of the few places in the world where there isn't any cars within this medieval village. Now, mind you, from maybe 7 to 8 in the morning, they'll let in some people into the stores and different things like that, or to replenish the restaurant. But other than that, there's like 4 or 5 different markets, tons of little restaurants and cafes. In our hotel, the Plaza Madeleine, for 7 nights, this is not a luxury relais chateau or anything of that nature, but it's a very wonderful French hotel right in the heart of this medieval village. And so we have 7 nights, and this is the famous prehistoric art area. The most famous you probably may know or recognize is Lascaux, where the boys, they knocked their ball down in a hole, and sure enough, it ended up to be in the famous place of early European art dating back about 15,000 years. And so wonderful. I think you probably remember the multicolored polychromatic animals is what they were describing at that time. However, nearby, in addition, to Lascaux, we also go to Rouffenac, we go to this Cap Brie. We go to about 3 or 4 different sites that highlight the prehistoric art, of the region. In addition, Rocamadour is a very famous medieval pilgrimage site. It was on a medieval run heading to Santiago de Compostela in Spain, way over in Western Spain. Souillac is well known for its Romanesque architecture. Aranac, we visit some gardens. So they're not, and the famous Baynac Castle, which is fascinating, kind of really because this area was the site of a 100 Years' War between France and Britain. And you would have on one side of the river, looking at the photo, would be the French castle. Then on the other side would be the British, or the English, not the British, but the English castle on the other side. So it's very historic, and you can see just ideally. But the key to me that makes this is this pedestrian only town, and that hotel right in the heart of that. There's the county market twice a week right outside your front door of this hotel. All right. Please, okay. There you see some of the prehistoric art, and you see it at Lascaux, kind of depictions of the animals that they saw in the region. Very early human art. And then we also have a boat ride on the Dordogne River, Gabar, an old one. And there's a little picture of the market there of Sarlat. So very atmospheric. There we then have 2 lectures, one about the architectural preservation, of the area, and then other about the cuisine. We actually, this is interesting because the good thing that we do, we take you into a cheese and wine shop, and the owners there explain, kind of the country, because this is an area well known for foie gras. It's probably the most well-known area for foie gras. In addition to this, then we also have what we call a village life series, whereby we get 4 people from this medieval village, and they come in, like at 5 p.m. one evening, and we can ask any questions, whether it be on how do they handle healthcare, Social Security, whatever. We can ask these people about their life there in this particular region of France, and they are, longtime residents. Okay, so that's I think that price is, we only have one price, $37.95 for that per person double occupancy. But magnificent. And the whole concept is immersion, and for you to come out of that and feeling very, very comfortable with this journey to that particular region in France. And again, it's not Normandy, it's not the French Riviera, this isn't Burgundy. This is kind of a little bit of undiscovered France, but yet packs a wow. Okay. All right. And then our final program we have in 2024. I love this one. Because Iceland has become very friendly and popular. Icelandic Air has done a fabulous job of promoting, because what it is, wherever they go in America, it's nonstop then to Reykjavik, and it really has led to a real boom in travel to Iceland. Now, mind you, most people come over if they do a land program. You can't drive around Iceland. That would take you 6 months. To try to do it, because the fjords are very deep. The roads kind of go all the way up and they come all the way down, go back up and come down. So that's out of the question. Normally when you go to Reykjavik and maybe inland to this one town called Akureyri. What I love about this is that this is a 7-night. We're on a small ship, just like that, Le Dumont de Ville. This is now another, the French Ponant Line named their ships after their explorers, Les Bellots. Arctic explorer, Antarctic explorer, gentleman by the name of Belot. All right, so 7 nights. All right, that we do this again. Everything's included. All your meals, all your excursions, all your beverages, that are on these ships. Then that's included. On land, no. On land, we provide most meals, but the beverages are extra. Okay, here we go. And what's unique about this is that we go all the way around. We get to, when you look at that map of Iceland, here's Reykjavik on the west side, closest to the USA, and in that area in Canada, and then you go up to Akureyri, which is up in the middle. But no one then goes to these outer areas, and no one goes all the way over to the south. And at the southern part there is the very famous Jokulsárlón. That's the largest glacier in Europe. It's massive. And there we give you an opportunity to, get off the motor coach, and we go right up to the face in a lagoon, of that famous glacier. And that's very rare for people to do. So my point is, we have a wonderful time in Reykjavik, right in the heart of a dynamic city. That's where we begin. And the air from the East Coast is included in this. Now, Detroit would not be part of the East Coast. I don't know if Icelandic Air flies out of Detroit, but definitely, obviously, in New York. They fly out of Chicago, and there'd be an air add-on for Chicago of like $200 on that. So we do include that round trip air in and out of Keflavik, which was a United States base up until the just within about the last 10, 15 years. So then we go up, we do get to really unusual places, and I love the names. They roll off your tongue: Randafjorda, Siglisfjorda, Seyðisfjorda. And again, as I said, the key is we get to Jokulsárlón, which is, way down on that eastern part. And then we also have another site where we go to Hine Island. As we come back to Reykjavik, it was a tremendous volcanic eruption. It almost wiped out this whole town of 5,000. Fortunately, the United States Navy was, a large presence. This is back in the 70s. They pumped water, and it was able to stop the flow. And fortunately, the whole fishing fleet in the town of 5,000 did not leave that night. So they hadn't gone out fishing for some reason, and sure enough, they were able to take everybody off the island, and no one died, no one perished due to that huge volcano that erupted right next door. It's like right next door to campus at Michigan State. And then the other area that's fascinating, we get over to the middle part near that Akureyri, and there you see Iceland is so active geologically that we get volcanoes, but then you have a Yellowstone effect over there. There's hot springs, there's fumaroles, there's geysers that are steaming up. And so it's a very exciting trip that I just think captures all of Iceland, not just Reykjavik and this other area that people have a tendency to go to. Okay, and it starts a little higher. I believe that's 68.95. Now that includes the air, but it's a little bit higher for that particular adventure as the ship goes up north there. We go across the Arctic Circle, and we're almost to Greenland. Okay, next slide, Regina, and then we'll just some slides, pertaining. Here's that Jokulsárlón over down here on the left-hand side. You can see the beautiful ship below, just the same ship as Le Dumont de Ville. Here's the famous Blue Lagoon right outside of Reykjavik. Is very large hot springs there that are just outstanding that we incorporate into the program. And of course, the Icelandic ponies with it. So Iceland, not many people, 350,000, nearly 250 live in Reykjavik. Once you get out, it's really dominant. The landscape dominates the people, in this wonderful land of Iceland. Again, a 7-night, and again, all meals, all beverages, all excursions, all Wi-Fi are included, on this particular journey. Okay, Regina, I think that's about it of my ramblings for our 2 programs in 2023 and 2 in 2024. Thank you and open to any questions that people may have.
Okay. Does anyone have questions for Tom on any of these programs? We've offered Iceland a few different times with GoHagen, and it's been very, very popular, as well as Dordogne. Dordogne is a unique itinerary.
Yep.
Quite often people have enjoyed that as well. So just giving you a little background a little bit. Okay, looks like we might have one question. How long are the pre and post trips to Iceland?
3 nights. 3 nights in Reykjavik, which we go down to a little peninsula down just south of Reykjavik. The Reykjavik, I may not, Reykjanes. We then have a full day in Reykjavik, and then I'm trying to think what the final day is but we do. So there's 3 nights, there in Reykjavik at the beginning. I know the famous one is that we go out to the Golden Circle. Wonderful time where we go to, actually, the name of the town is Geyser. Can you believe that? The name of the town is Geyser, and you'll understand why. We also go to a wonderful place on that pre-tour called Thingvellir National Park, one of my favorite spots in the world. And because Iceland is so geologically alive, but there you go there, you can actually see kind of this separation of the plates, very, very visible, moving. And Iceland has a very famous, what's the right word? Two things. One, the first parliament ever assembled of humans was like 900 AD. Now, I may be correct on that, but it was in Iceland, and it was all these clans that got together, in kind of a representative body, and they would come and discuss the main things pertaining to their lives and on the island. And that was right at Thingvellir. So it has kind of somewhat of a spiritual moment. The other thing about Iceland, apparently, there is a famous book of Icelanders. And how would I call this? Everybody is probably related in some way. And they always say that if you meet somebody, on Friday night, and you're talking to them or whatever, and you got whatever, on Saturday morning, everybody's then looking in this book or online to check up, they may be related in some ways. It's really a very close, knitted society in that way with Iceland. But 3 nights.
I should also mention that we do have a professor that we're scheduling to host this trip.
Great.
His name is Dr. Mike Gottfried, and he's an associate professor of Earth and Environmental Sciences at Michigan State. So that's on the docket for 2024.
Yeah, because that's what's neat about Iceland. It doesn't take much imagination to visualize this plate tectonics idea. Kind of just everything, because it's so alive. I mean, as I said, you're standing right by a geyser or standing by a hot spot, a fumarole, or whatever. Think of Yellowstone. Where you got that, but then then over in the distance, there was the largest glacier in all of Iceland. So it's really very exciting, very dynamic as far as the beauty. And I just finished this cruise back in the summer. Each stop was different, and it was you think it might be repetitive, but no. Each stop, as we went up in the north, we went above the Arctic Circle to this little island called Grimsey. There's only about 12 people that live there full time. That was fascinating to see. We went to a town, Seyðisfjörður, where there's a herring factory. It's fascinating to see their bloom time, back from like 1890 to about 1930, and then the herring, whatever, or that fish, whatever, went away. But each part of it is very different, and just magnificent landscapes. That's never got tired of seeing the mountains, the fjord like atmosphere and everything. So
great. Any other questions at all? Well, if you think of anything, once we're finished here, please let me know, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, or I can get the information from Gohagen and Company.
Yes, thank
you.
You
can also call Gohagen and Company directly if you like to, and their number is 800-922-3088, and I'll add that in the chat. So
800-922-3088, right in downtown Chicago, right on LaSalle Street, right in the heart of it all. Yes. So, all right, we'll keep on traveling, everybody. This is exciting that you have the answer. Michigan State does a great, unbelievable job as far as presenting the programs, and I don't know, it's special travel, and as I said, not that we need it, but I mean, it's nice to know that you have these travel directors accompanying you throughout the whole program, for here, there, and everything that is coming up, that may come up. So,
okay. All right. So on to our door prize drawing.
Oh, yeah.
Gohagen and Company has kindly given us 4 $250 vouchers to use for travel with them. And those are good until what, December 31st, 2024? Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. All right, good. Okay. Got my trusty bucket here. I'm going to go ahead and pull for the first one. Daniel Kavanaugh. Daniel, hi. I will email
Great,
that to
Danielle.
you. All right. Okay, on to the next one. Michael Hormuth, are you there?
Have a Michael.
I have a Michael here. Okay, maybe not. All right. Let's see here.
I'm here. Michael's here.
Oh, okay.
good, great,
All right.
great.
Good. Wonderful.
Getting a voucher.
All right. Okay, pulled for that. Janet Leonard.
Yeah, Janet, great.
Janet,
Great, thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, the next one, last one from Gohagen. Sorry, mix them up good. David Groves. Dave, I will email that to you. All right, we have a few
Regina,
more.
I got one
Okay.
very important thing.
Okay,
And I'm almost gonna start to cry. I'm from Toledo, Ohio originally, and so, boom, boom, Michigan State. I had boom, boom, but I had the great fortune to go to Notre Dame. Are you ready for this? And growing, I was a little kid, about 10 years old, 11 years old, and I'll never forget. And I used to keep a lot of memorabilia of things, All right, I'm gonna, everyone in this room will probably know exactly the football game I'm talking about. But here is the program. All right. Now hold on, I can't get it. All right. We see this was up at Michigan State when Notre Dame played Michigan State on, you ready, everybody? November 19th, 1966. And that was the game of the decade, or the game of the century. And that one ended in that 10-10 tie,
yes.
I think, with Parsegian and Duffy Doherty, right?
Yes.
And I can remember, oh my God, the George Webster, Bob Apisa. I'm trying to think. Steve Jude, who I'm trying to think of the quarterback.
Yeah, Clinton Jones.
Clint Jones. I mean, that was unbelievable what Michigan State, with the team that the Spartans had, and then Notre Dame. I mean, it was a great. So this is. I'm so happy I thought about it, because this is rare, but yet it's what a time going back to that 1966 game, and that was probably the pinnacle of both Notre Dame and Michigan State,
Yeah.
in their times, that was just great. Duffy Doherty, gosh, Lee.
Yeah.
So,
I was in the stadium and we're still angry at Notre Dame about it. So
yes, I hear you, Dave. I hear you. Yeah, Notre Dame, Parsegian played for the tie, I think.
right. Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
we ask for people's memories of Michigan State when they're traveling, and that is the number one memory.
Yeah.
that people.
Yeah. It's just incredible. I mean, and what athletes that were there, and all that excitement and hype and everything. I don't know who was, not Jim McKay, but I don't know. Some of these old announcers that were highlighting this game. There it is, Michigan State, Notre Dame.
Yes.
Wow. And they have it, so they in Sparty, I'm just trying to show you the, I don't know, I can't get, not right, but he's leading like 4 horses. Do you know what I mean? So, the 4 horses are they have like Notre Dame bibs on them, and he has the Sparty cow. All right. Wow.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Tom. Yes.
Yeah. God, here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss my visits with Tom. We quite often would meet and we'd chat about things like this before we actually talk travel. So
yeah,
I
it's just
would
wonderful.
definitely miss
And
sometimes.
I'm always rooting, for the Spartans in basketball against anybody. Izo is a great person. I don't know. I know he's from the UP, I believe. And, just a wonderful person and a great representation for Michigan State and everything. So,
Okay, so we have
right.
a few more door prizes to give away. I have a Michigan State puzzle. It's I believe it's a 500-piece puzzle. And Yvonne, is it Fillion? How it's pronounced?
Thank you. Yes, Yvonne Fillion. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, listen.
All righty. Next, we have a Michigan State cap. Wait. All right, and then goes to David Butts.
All right.
Well, thank you. You can never have too many MSU caps.
Yes, yeah, that'll go along with the t-shirt you won.
That's right.
There you go. Wonderful. I have like a little carry tote. You can put things when you're visiting people or going to a game. Garesh, I have that for you. I'll mail that out. All right, and I have, oops, sorry. I have another Michigan State cap. And that's our final prize for today. And this goes to Saman Kashyap. Is it Kashyap?
Great.
All right.
Regina, final thing, you ready? I'm just gonna
Yes.
say some names here. I got,
Okay.
here's the Michigan, I won't go through the whole, but Gene Washington, number 84, remember him, the excellent receiver? Jimmy
Yes.
Ray was a quarterback.
Oh, yes, Jimmy Ray.
Dwight Lee, Clint Jones, Regis Cavender, we're like the running backs. On defense, Bubba Smith. I'll never forget Bubba Smith.
Yes.
Unbelievable. I'm trying to think who else. George Webster, Jesse Phillips. I remember him. He was excellent. Then others. I can read them all, but this is just outstanding. And then I even as a kid, I still have it. I got newspaper clippings of the game and everything. So
Oh, that's
I
so
mean that was huge. That
awesome.
was huge in 1966. Unbelievable.
Yes.
The 10-10 tie. So anyway, and that's right. Terry Hanratty for Notre Dame got hurt, and it was Coley O'Brien that came in and finished the game for Notre Dame.
Yeah. Now, I believe was it Notre Dame was chosen as the national champions?
I think so. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what. Yeah, I think from what I remember. Yeah,
So
Kill Bubba Kill.
yeah.
great
So-
teams back then. Yes.
So
Wonderful.
gosh, I'm just trying to. Anyhow, okay, that's enough. But just the 10-10 tie.
Yes. Thank you,
All right.
Tom, very much.
Okay, yeah, so maybe I shouldn't have brought it up. All right,
Yes.
okay. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. All right, so I just
All
want
right.
to mention that our next presentation will be February 15th. I'll be hosting a trip for a couple weeks, so let on hiatus for the travel presentations until the 15th, and it's with Safari Legacy. We do African trips with them, African safari trips, and so we'll be presenting, Jennifer Knath will be presenting on that. And then on February 22nd, we'll feature two of our operators. We have Premier World Discovery, and we quite often offer trips with them that are here within the United States, and sports and entertainment travel. And we do like the Masters and Kentucky Derby and baseball trips with them.